Today, what we're going to be doing is looking at these beauties. Bose QC45s. Did they come looking like this? No, they didn't. They had black pads on. This is supposedly leather, but I'm not convinced. They don't smell like leather, but there was only one seller doing them, so you had to kind of take a leap into the unknown. They weren't badly reviewed or anything, but I don't know, the only thing I have is the smell. Why'd I bother replacing the pads? You know I'm pretty lazy with that sort of thing, and this doesn't look amazing because originally they were made with a faux leather. If you look here, there's little scratches. They were all over these bits, so they needed a bit of a refresh. Aesthetically, I wasn't massively fussed, so it didn't feel nice. It was the fact that it was coming off on my face and down my neck and stuff, and you just had these black dots everywhere, and it just made you go, have I got a disease? What's going on? But no, it was the headphones. Anywho, these beauties I have had for everything's blimmin' 2 years. Have I had them for 2 years? I think I've had them for 3 years. The reason we got them in the first place was noise cancelling. We were leaving America and had a really long flight to go, and we were like, well, we could have this flight normally, or we could have some headphones so we can block the screaming children. Well, that is a fantastic idea. Let's block screaming children and try to get some sleep. I got these, and Francis got some Sony Hujima Watsits. The number one piece of advice I'll give you is to try headphones on before you make a purchase. Normally we go for the same brands, but this time they just weren't comfortable for both of us. But I tried on these puppies and they didn't make me feel like my head was about to explode. So that was a win. Some features of the headphones. They swivel. You can put them on your neck like that. That's a little bit restrictive. They did originally come with a carry case, but I got rid of that because it's just extra in the storage. But the carry case kind of had them like, oh, was it sideways? I think it was like that. A bit space saving for you. I ended up shoving them in an Antler mini case that I already had on me, so that was even more space saving. But because we were going to use them on the flight anyway, it made a lot more sense to just wear them as we went through the airport and on the plane, because you just have to get them out your bag again, and they contribute to your luggage allowance. You just go like, no, I'll just wear them, thanks. It has a variety of buttons. No, it's not one of those fancy ones that's buttonless, but we'll get into that in a minute. On the left hand side there's the mode button, so you press it and it goes quiet or aware. I don't know why it does that. It has a really particular robotic female voice. I'd prefer an option, or maybe to record my own. I don't know, does it bug me that much? But it is annoying. Mockable. Things get really exciting on the right hand side. You've got your on off, so that little white dot means that they're on. And in Bluetooth mode, I think what you can do is you can plug in the wire that does come with it into the left hand side at the bottom, plug it into your computer or an airplane, any device that accepts the other side of the jack, and then you don't have to have it turned on because it's not running off the battery. Next up, you got a USB-C, I think, power chargy cable bit there, very technical. Then 3 buttons, your plus to increase the volume, your minus to decrease the volume, and the middle button, which is to play, pause, or I think you can maybe even program it. I haven't, you can tell. Relatively straightforward. Other features of these headphones, they can extend. This is probably one of the few things that annoys me, because I think you'll set it once to one level because your head doesn't really change. I guess you could change it for a hairstyle or something. But see, look at that. It's a little flimsy. I don't think it's just because I'm messing around with it. That might be a factor. I just wish it had some sort of clip or something. So yeah, you'd slide it like that, but then have a clip to just keep it in place. I have it on the lower setting because I have a small head, and I do occasionally find myself having to just like shove them in. It's not the end of the world, but it's a little bit irritating, and these are not inexpensive. If you are looking for a reviewer on sound quality, I'm afraid I am not your gal. What I will say is that these sound good to me. However, I was upgrading from pretty basic headphones and I didn't really mind. Maybe my other one sounded a bit tinny, but I didn't really notice. So if you are a true audiophile, listen to them. Harks back to my point. Try on the headphones, try the sound quality, etc. of the headphones before you commit to purchasing. But they sound good to me. They're pretty bassy, and the fact that you've got the noise cancelling element of it, it's just comfortable. It's surround sound. It feels nice overall. I like it. In all honesty, I wasn't convinced I would be using headphones, but I really did, and I still do. Not massively, because at home I just play it out and annoy everybody in the house. It's just laziness, because I don't have to charge the headphones and I can hear it fine. That's the type of audiophile that I am. I don't even connect it up to the home speakers. I'm just like, I'll just take my phone around, play it as is. I think those are the only 2 qualms I have about these headphones. It's literally just that fake leathery stuff wearing over time, and the top band's all right. You saw it had a couple of scratches on it, nothing drastic, but you think about the price that you would pay for these, it would be nice if it was in a longer lasting material, or at least one that didn't freaking flake off and Blah. And the size are stone plates. I'm not going to break them. Normally, I complain about the price of these things a lot. I don't think what I paid for those was unfair. I think I paid about £200 equivalent, and I will say I got them refurbed and in US dollars. Got them from the official Bose store. They've lasted me these last 3 years and they're still going strong. I'm having no issues with the connectivity. Actually, that is a good point on the connectivity. I'm not having any new issues with the connectivity. These are supposed to connect to multiple devices at once, multiple being 2. It will recognize more devices than that, but you can only have 2 active ones at a time. However, from the get-go, I had it connected to my phone and my computer, and it kind of did a little bit of a jump. So say I was listening to something on my laptop and then my phone got a notification. It didn't ping with a notification, but just kind of like stuttered. So there was a pause. It just jolted me out of whatever I was doing. Sometimes it wouldn't even be that there was a notification. Maybe it was just a process in the background, but they jolted. To be very clear, when I say jolted, I mean just pause, quiet for a second. The way to stop them from doing that is literally to just disconnect it from that device, but that's quite irritating for something that's supposed to be multiple devices at once. I would read from something that told me multiple devices that I could switch between them. I do understand that's a bit difficult if there's, say, 2 things playing, then I'd expect it to play at the same time on both, but maybe that's difficult to program or something. It's not a big issue for me because I normally listen to one device at a time or just play it out loud. But if you're coming into this purchase going, oh, well, this connects to 2 devices at once, I can either switch between them or actually listen to 2 at once. It's not that straightforward. I shouldn't really have to solve the problem by disconnecting from one device. That kind of defeats the point. It shouldn't let you connect to 2 if it does jump occasionally. I made a comment earlier about it had buttons instead of some sort of fancy swooshing or like touch. Is it touch screen? Touch sensitivity? I don't know what it is, but I like that it's got buttons. I think the fancy new trend is towards buttonless, but Francis has got those Sonys and they're just glitchy. Any little oil you get on the touch area just makes them really dodgy. Guess what? Your fingers are a bit oily, and that's what fingers do. So I like the buttons. I don't have many options with it. There's a few settings that you can play around with in the app, but I just use the normal ones. I am not particularly particular. Totally unrelated, I had a friend in Australia who had a pair of Bose headphones. I think it was QC's. Point is, he was replacing the pads, not getting a new pair of headphones because he liked their headphones. And again, pretty sure it was Bose. I cannot guarantee it's QC45s. I trust that these are going to be here for quite a long time in the future. I'm not putting loads of mileage through them because, as I said, at home I just play things out loud, but I was getting a lot of use out of them when we were away, and I still use them for editing, so that's a good few hours a week. They're not showing any serious sign of degradation. At some point I'll do a second-hand review of Francis Sony's, and that is not the case with his. He loves them, but that's not the case with his. Spoiler! That brings us to the question of would I get these again? I don't know I would. Now that sounds really weird because I've almost been singing their praises, so I'm going to qualify that. I don't think I will need to. Maybe in 10 years time I will need to replace these, and I'll probably go with Bose again. So maybe that is a yes, but it also does depend on how these fare over the next 10 years. I trust them a lot currently. They have been through the ringer, but I don't use them that heavily. So maybe even though I would purchase them again, 1, I won't need to because they'll still be going, or 2, I'll just be playing everything out loud because I'm not your automatic market for Bluetooth headphones. But I would 100% recommend these if you've got a pot of money that you're going to put towards headphones. For me, they are so comfortable and they tick all the right boxes, the boxes of necessities. That doesn't mean that I think that they're hitting 100% of their own mark, but that's the best advice that I can give you. I tried on the Apple ones, the Sonys, the fancy high-end ones, even though we probably wouldn't have bought them because, you know, yeah, we were putting money towards headphones, but we didn't have an unlimited pod. But for my head, these are the most comfortable, and they're kind of mid-range noise-cancelling headphones. That's not to say that they're inexpensive, because they are not. But I cannot recommend fully, wholeheartedly any headphones unless you've tried them on. I am so sensitive when it comes to things pressing on my head. I hate hairbands. I honestly didn't think it would be a factor until I tried the other ones on, and then my head hurt. And I went, oh, maybe I can't have over-ear headphones. And then I tried these on and it was fine. So unless you are an over-the-ear headphone connoisseur and have tried on all the pairs before and know what you're doing, at which point I don't know why you're watching this video, then please go and try on some headphones. These have got the silver approval from me. I really rate them, but I rate them because they do a good job. They do what they are supposed to be doing. It's not like they've really blown my mind. They're just a nice pair of headphones. I feel like they are good value for money. And they haven't broken in 3 years. I can edit for hours in these and it's not a problem, though. I am relieved to have them off after that. There's still a tiny bit of pressure on my head. I don't know why I'm trying to cover myself because your head's different than my head, but that's the whole point. Go check the headphones before you purchase them because it isn't a small investment. If you're not a headphone person, just ask yourself why you're buying them in the first place. Are you going to get enough use out of them? I like Bose as a brand. I think that they have given me one good pair of headphones. I think my bottom line is it's personal preference, isn't it? Those are the factors that I like. They've done a good job. Wow, I'm so non-committal in these reviews. I need to do a thumbs up or something. Have a lovely week. See you next time. Bye.